Yo, what is up, guys? It's the Terrible Thief here, back with another video. Today's video is going to be a regular story time, but it's not going to be a short one. It's going to be a regular length story time. And without further ado, let's just get into this. Alright guys, so this story time takes place last January. So, about a year ago, I was a sophomore in high school, 16 years old. So, it all starts off as a regular day, you know, I go through school, and then I get to work, right? And as I'm working, I go on break. And I go to the bathroom, and I see one of my friends who's my coworker, and then there's this other dude, right? And they're vaping and ripping shit. So I see that one of my coworkers has a dad pen. So I take like 2 4-second inhales of it. And so I'm like, all right, but at the time, this was probably like my 4th time ever smoking weed. So it was like my first time ever getting like faded. Like I've been a tiny bit high before this, but like once this story time happened, it was like my very first time. And so I'm in the bathroom and I rip it, right? And at the time I was working in fast food. So my coworker, he's at the window and he's like one of my friends, right? This was the other dude that I actually knew who was one of my friends. And he starts feeling it and he starts fucking giggling and shit. But for me, it took a while for it to set in. So at first, like, I gradually felt it, and I felt my arms and legs get, like, really fucking heavy at first, and at first it felt like fucking concrete was on my arms. Like, I actually had to, like, put in effort to lift my arms up and shit. And then a minute or two later, my heart rate starts to go up, right? So my heart starts to, like, beat really fast, and it's kind of like that scene from that one movie, Friday, where Ice Cube takes a hit of the blunt and he gets high for the first time and he like talks about his heart beating really fast. That's exactly what it was like for me, because it was like this was like one of my first times actually being faded. And so I slowly start to like feel it, right? And I just feel really fucking heavy and it's really hard to hear shit. But I'm just vibing, you know? Like music sounds way better when you're faded. Like any fucking song sounds good when you're high. So like there's been times where I've literally just put random ass songs I don't even like on my playlist just because it sounded good at the time when I was faded. And then a white truck pulls up and then we notice it's our teacher, right? So my coworker who's my friend, he's just talking to my teacher for a little bit. And then he's like, oh yeah, you getting food for the family? And we were both faded as shit. And he fucking said that shit and I just start fucking laughing my ass off. Like, whenever I get faded, I start giggling more than a fucking high school girl. Like, shit's actually ridiculous. And then after this, we're just like talking to him and just catching up a little bit. And then I was like fucking trying to talk to him, but I was like struggling to find my words, and I was just talking like a fucking retard because I couldn't even like think of what I was going to say. And then I get a few words out, we start talking a little bit, and then I don't know how he didn't know I was faded, but if he did, that would be funny. But I mean, he probably could tell because my eyes were pretty fucking red. Like, my coworker looked at me and he's like, dude, you're gone. But yeah, I talked to my teacher a little bit, and then after that he just drove off. But it was a pretty funny little interaction. But throughout my shift, my mouth started to get very dry, so it was just really hard to talk. And when you do smoke, you always get cotton mouth for the most part. That's just part of it. But my mouth was like really fucking dry, and so it was just a pain in the ass to talk. And I just like felt really heavy and out of it for my shift. And then after that, they just fucking put me on grill because I was too faded to operate the drive-thru. And after that, I was just trying to like hold out, you know what I'm saying, and just try to survive this shit. But a couple hours went by and it started letting off, but like I must have been high for like 3 or 4 hours, which is like a really long fucking time, especially from a cart, which is what I ripped. But generally for me, like now, whenever I rip a cart, I'm only faded for like an hour at most, you know? So that was like back when my tolerance was really fucking low and my body like it wasn't used to weed or anything like that, but nowadays my tolerance is pretty fucking high to where if I like rip anything, it takes me a little bit to feel anything. But throughout that whole shift, I was just trying to like ride it out. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. I hope you guys found it funny, entertaining, possibly informative. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.